whatever. That wasn't part of the recording. Okay, so, well, I'll walk you through this new song that I'm writing right now. Right now it's only a chord progression. Um, Basically, I already showed you this chord progression and I already came up with it. Sorry, I'm just gonna. Okay, so yeah, looks like my friend's not coming, so I will just show you. So I'll just go through everything then. For starters, um, yeah, let's do. Or you know what? Let's go straight to the more interesting one. Let's talk about a song that I've written. Let's skip pre-existing songs because I feel like I don't feel like starting from like scratch with you on the theory or anything. I picked like some really basic songs with only two chord progressions. Like it'd probably be this song. Oh no, sorry. I am not online on Steam, but I can be. So that's obviously a really uninteresting chord progression. I mean, it's cool. It's 1-5-1-5, which is a classic chord progression, but it's pretty basic. So I'll step it up to the next level. And yeah, so let's do here. I will mute this. I will start a new track. Um, so let's talk about my Adventure Time song, Verdant Fields, that is. So basically, the way this song goes is oh whoa. I don't know why it matters if I'm on Steam, but okay. So the way that this song works, no, it's not faster. The thing is, I receive your like when you chat, when you type on Twitch, I receive it instantly. But when I talk on Twitch, the broadcast delay is 30 seconds, so you don't hear what I'm saying until 30 seconds, but I see what you're saying instantly. And it's no better for me to respond to you on Steam because the thing is, I can respond to you on Steam, but then I have to actually start typing, and then that's not saved in the broadcast, and it's just a lot less fluid, bit less efficient for me. So, yeah, shouldn't really be a problem too much. Um, but anyways, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to, I'll show you what I did with Verdant Fields. So I'm going to record this chord progression and then I'll be able to play the other stuff over it and talk about what I did. So right off the bat without recording anything, I believe I've taught you before, or I've shown you, maybe not, the chord progression for Adventure Time's theme song is G, and then D, and then C, and then D, and then it just repeats. All major. I don't know exactly what the like Roman numerals are for that, but that's what it is. There you have it. And the way that I wanted to write this song, I wanted it to be pastoral. So pastoral means like kind of like country folk stuff. And I was inspired by the Lon Lon Ranch theme, which I think I've told you before. And basically, the Lon Lon Ranch song goes like this. I already screwed up. Okay. And then it goes on. But that's basically the idea. It's got this very slow, kind of up and down, sort of a bounciness to it, but it's so lazy that you can't really call it a bounce. And I sort of wanted to emulate that with my song. So basically, that song is all arpeggios, or at least the rhythm part is. So I wanted to do my song all arpeggios as well. And so what I decided to do was arpeggiate the main chords of the song. So I started with G, and you can tell that there's like a really clear do 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 do. Like certain notes are accentuated, even if I'm not playing them louder. It's just the rhythm of it. So I played that G, and then I played a D. And then this one's interesting because this one's technically not a chord. It's only two unique notes. It's an E, and then a B, and then an E. And that can either be an E minor, or an E major. Or sorry, E minor, or an E major. But because I only play those three notes, it's ambiguous as to which one I'm playing. Basically, the reason I didn't actually do a G, D, C chord progression is because I'll just play them both for you, and I'll let you decide which one sounds better. So that's option A. Option B is this. So the first one is a bit more stagnant. It sort of feels like it's treading water. The second version, which actually uses a C chord, it feels like it's supposed to go somewhere, but then you go back to the D, and then you kind of have a blue balls moment. So again, like it really wants to go somewhere, and you don't end up putting it anywhere. So I actually cheated. I didn't use the actual chord progression, but I used something very similar. Instead of being E and then C and then E, I just use E, B, E. So I only changed one note in that arpeggio. But it really managed to, so by only changing one note, it still sounds very similar to the original chord progression, but at the same time it sounds different enough that the mood of it is different, and it develops along a different line. And then the second time I play that arpeggio, I'm pretty sure this one here, I actually don't entirely know what that is, so I think that's actually roughly a D as well. Yeah. Okay, well anyways, so the idea is I basically use the same chords. I just very subtly changed one of them. And I chose the rhythm because I wanted something to have an ebb and flow to it, but I wanted it to sound lazy. So that was sort of my idea behind that. Which notes correspond to certain moods? So, well, part of it's just feeling. So, like, this one, like this part versus this, like that's entirely. I just went with my gut. It just didn't sound as good. It had a lot more tension that wanted to be resolved, and I didn't want to resolve it at that point in the song. Um, there are ways of telling roughly how something's going to feel, but in music there's a lot of context behind things too, so you can't always go solely based off of like what theory tells you. You got to go with what you feel when you hear. So for example, if you play a fifth like this, which is what my chord progression is, it sounds pretty together. It doesn't really sound like it's coming apart. But then if I shift this top note from a B to an A sharp, and then I play that along with the E, it sounds really messed up. It goes from jiving pretty well to sounding very malicious, very marauding. But there are some songs where you will play that diminished fifth, it's known as, or an augmented fourth, same thing. And in the context, it actually sounds nice. Like, this sounds messed up, but I do know one song where this is played and it actually sounds very pleasing. But it's almost always considered like an evil interval, and it was actually banned in a lot of religious music, like religious Christian music. because of how evil it sounds. It's known as Diaboli in Musica. So anyways, this one didn't use that interval, the, but the main thing is this one uses a perfect fifth and then a perfect fourth on top of that. So that sounds super nice. Whereas this one uses a minor sixth as well as a major third. So there's just less of a sense of harmony between the notes. It creates a bit more melodic, like interplay, I guess. But it just doesn't. It just it feels like it wants to go somewhere, and I didn't want it to go anywhere at that point. Anyways, so that was basically how I started off the song. So I'm going to record that right now. Okay. So that was the start of the song. And that's the main part that I'm going to go over. I'm not going to go over the middle of the song because I find that part a bit more uninteresting. And it also is a lot harder on my thumb to play because I have to play a lot of bar chords and I don't want to put my thumb through that. And the melodic part of that song is definitely the weakest part of that song, though the chord progression is pretty good, I think. So first I let it repeat once, because basically this is the backing of the track, so I want to enforce it in the listener that this is the main motif. Oh wait, sorry, oh, it's the next part. Okay, I guess I'll record the next part. The next part is pretty similar, I just used bar chords, but I basically just moved chords up and down, so I played like... Okay, yeah. Man, I sure put a lot more thought into this track than I thought. So it goes... Oh geez, I forgot how the... Okay, I actually completely forgot this chord progression. I played something roughly similar to this, and I do have the first half of the chord progression right anyways. Okay, so yeah, this is the best part of the song. So the part that I didn't screw up. So that's a blessing. So basically, I came up with these chords. Basically, the chords are this. Oh, sorry, I already screwed up. Chords are this: G major, A major, and then B minor, A major. So again, I'm just, instead of going, I'm just going like this. So I'm going roughly upwards instead of downwards, but I'm doing the same interval, 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 and it just sort of naturally repeats. I end up shifting the chords downwards towards the neck as I progress that part of the song, but basically it's I'm keeping the same kind of I'm keeping the same like motif that I used earlier, which is like you're just going up and then back down, and I'm doing do 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 do. So I keep the rhythm. But for this one, instead of playing 3 notes total, I play 4. The first 2 I play together, and then I play the 3rd and the 4th note afterwards. So it gives it a stronger, a crunchier lower end, and it makes it feel like the song is progressing. Because not only am I going upwards instead of downwards, but I'm also sort of changing the texture of the rhythm by playing power chords at the beginning, 2 notes instead of 1. So when I wrote this part of the song, this was the point where I was like, okay, I can start working on a melody, and I didn't want to use the main adventure time